Hello, welcome back. Today's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to start out with a sort of a shop walkthrough, and then I'm going to transition into camping in my shop. So I planned to go winter camping for a long time, and I never got around to it for a couple reasons. One, I couldn't find a decent place to do it, and two, it's just so cold. So I think I've finally found a good place to go winter camping, but I still feel pretty unprepared for it. So I have this big old hiking backpack here that I picked up at a thrift store for $15. And obviously I already have some gear in it already, but I'm gonna take it all out, see what I actually really need, put it all back in, and then in theory, whatever I need to leave the shop for is going to have to get put into this bag to go winter camping. I'm not gonna be able to start a fire in my shop, unfortunately. I'm in the basement of my house, so gonna have to keep that in mind, but I will probably try to do some cooking. So we'll see how it goes. And in this corner, we have a super rickety bench. It was here when I moved in, so it was just kind of a stand-in. Now I just kind of use it for putting tools down, and I do most of my work over here on my joiner's bench designed by Rex Kruger. Just got a few tools up here. A lot of tools down here I really don't use that often. These are all stacked up power tools that I almost never use. My battery charger is right on top of it. Back here I have one of the first signs that I ever carved. I carved 3 of these. Not very happy with them now looking back, but it's what it is. You can tell what it is. So what else do we have? Obviously I carved this sign less than a year ago. I mean, all of this happened in less than a year. It's kind of crazy to think about how fast all of it has kind of come together. This is something pretty special. I don't think I can tell you exactly what it is, but it's sentimental and it's historical. So that's as far as I'll go on that. I think that's pretty much it. I got my trash over here, a lot of tools up on the wall, shelf right there. Not a whole lot going on over here. Over here we've got scroll saw. I just picked this up 2 days ago. I haven't gotten to use it yet, but it's really cool, and I'll tell you a story about why I wanted it in a couple minutes. Here is my router table. Gets the job done. It's a little bit beat up, but like I said, gets the job done. It's on this, again, rickety table, so kind of need to upgrade that eventually. Dust collection, bucket of water and oily rags. Dust collection. This is my flattening sled. I use a router and flatten boards on that are too wide to go through my planer. Table saw and planer are right smack dab in the center of the shop if you can't see. And a couple of the wall decorations I just made. This one, I did a lot of experimentation with photo laser engraving. Still have a lot to learn. Not super impressed with this result, but I want to keep this up to remind me to keep going back to it because I have so many things on my mind. I'll put this up another time. Crosscut sled, apron that I don't really use that often. Down here I have some planer shavings that I turn into fire starters. That's about it. Here we've got my miter saw on a stand that I built a couple months ago. This, it's sturdy, but it rocks a little bit. I don't know if it's the floor or the wheels or what, but again, gets the job done. So it is what it is. I have a disc sander down there that I don't really use all that often. This is my shelf full of finishes, paints, stains, all that kind of stuff, glues. And I have a scroll saw down there that I picked up really when I just started, and I was never able to get it running. So I'm really happy to have a new one that seems to work pretty well, and I have a little tiny belt sander. Here I've got a toolbox. This is my schedule that my cousin Pat put together for me. Appreciate you, Pat. I won't show you inside of here, it's a mess. In here I've just got a whole bunch of hardware. Here I've got rasps, files, chisels, sharpening stones, hook knife, marking gauges, stuff like that. Sandpaper, paint brushes, wrenches, and other hand tools like that. And then down here are tools that I use pretty frequently and I want pretty easy to grab. So I've got circular saw, angle grinder, jigsaw, a couple of angle grinders there actually, and this is just a bag of dust. And finally we have this corner, Shave Horse, love this thing. It is Bastion Head Woodworks design. Shelf of hand tools, saws, planes, spoke shave, draw knife, hatchet, stuff like that. Pipe clamps right there. And again, the bench that I just built. Coming out of the shop now, you can see I am building myself a 4-poster bed. I started this a couple months ago now, so yes, that is my bed frame. Yes, my bed has been on the floor for a couple months. It is what it is. Whole bunch of stuff out here. It's not very organized. I just picked up this MDF this morning to experiment with making layered interior signs. Shop vac don't use very often. This isn't all tool stuff, but this is a chest full of tools that I don't use very often. You don't really even need to see inside there. Some nice clean plain shavings for packing materials if I ever need to ship anything. Some craft paper and twine, sewing table that I need to finish learning how to restore. I keep my compressor out here and I just run the hose through this hole up in the ceiling over to my dust collector because it is really loud and I hate when it kicks on because it scares the life out of me, let's say. Oh, I need to change that light bulb. Okay, light bulb is changed. Here's the boiler room. Obviously it's making quite a bit of noise. I apologize for that. I normally have a dehumidifier running in here. I just unplugged it so that doesn't also make noise, but this is the boiler room. I use it as basically my stock room. If you're just joining me for this video, this is your first video, I started in a very, very, very small shop in a kind of corner of my parents' boiler room. And the entirety of my shop would probably be from the front of this boiler to that back wall there. So if you can imagine that space without anything in there, obviously it's quite small. Coming out of the boiler room now, shop is over to the left. If you take a right, you can go back upstairs, and that's where I live. But if you come in here, this is my laundry room, and this is also where I do most of my carving and sanding. Sorry about these socks, they were still a little bit damp. But because those are two pretty long, loud processes with multiple machines running, the vacuum or the sander and the router at the same time, I wanted to move that out of the shop into an area where I could close 2 doors, 1, 2, and insulate the sound from my neighbors as much as I possibly could, because they are pretty much through 2 doors that way. All right, well, I think that about does it as far as the shop tour goes. Right now it is 9:13 in the morning, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make another coffee. I'm gonna work on a couple different things throughout the day, and then I'll come back down here, or I'll probably still be down here, but I'll transition into the camping part sometime around probably 4 or 5 o'clock. Okay, so this tent takes up much more room inside than I anticipated. I guess I should have seen that coming. But I think I'll be able to make it work. I think I'm just going to move my bench down a little bit, get those pipe clamps out of there. I'll put a little chair right there, and I'll use the top of my tool bench to cook on. I forgot that the rain fly gets staked into the ground, like staked out, so condensation doesn't get built up inside of it. So I'm just gonna kind of drape it over like this for some privacy, and I'll leave the back side of it open for ventilation. I somehow don't have a camping chair, or a bag chair, whatever you call it. This is gonna have to do for now. I'll put it on the list. Okay, so here's what it's looking like. Pretty simple. Pillow was something that I forgot, so I'll have to keep that in mind. The nice thing is that the tent and everything inside it, I believe I can just carry on top of the bag, which leaves a whole lot more room for other things as we need them. All right, now I did try this yesterday. Didn't go very well, so this is actually the next day. Gonna try cooking dinner one more time. Gonna cook something a little bit different now. Gonna be making hash and eggs with some cheese. Gotta run off and get some butter real quick, and then we should be good to start cooking. All right, I'm gonna start by cooking this corned beef hash first. I might take it out after, I don't know. But I wanted to show you, this is actually a World War II era cook set. If you can see, it says 1942. I think it's US TACUCO 1942. Obviously it was produced for the war effort. Pretty cool little kit. Let's get cooking. And that metal is so thin, it doesn't take very long at all to get it going. Yep, see, there you go. That's what the hash looks like. Kind of a mess, but you know. Cool. Kind of hard to believe that all that fit in this tiny little can here, but I'll take it. All right, so while that's finishing up, I wanted to explain why I wanted the scroll saw so bad. Number one, I've needed a scroll saw for a while. Number two, it was only $100. Came with the saw, the stand, and a mobile base. So, pretty good deal if you ask me. And then the third thing is the design on this arm reminds me of a pool that I used to swim at down in Long Island when I was a swimmer back in high school. And I just always loved swimming at that pool. So, having a tool that reminds me of something like that, I don't know. It's nice, I guess. And then to bring it back even further than that, it's this truss design that we used to swim under. This pool had this really, really high roof with these exposed metal trusses that looked a lot like this. And this tool reminds me of that pool. That pool reminds me of Portal 2. So I think the first project that I want to make on this scroll saw I want it to be Portal 2 related. So look forward to that. Oh, that's looking a lot better than when it came out of the can. couple more things I forgot, so I have to run upstairs real quick. Okay, got some pepper, some salt. I've got some tin foil here to keep my hash warm while I work on my eggs. Get these covered up. Get her covered up. Let that cheese melt. Then it'll be dinner time. Well, I'm not gonna say it looks great, but compared to last night, definitely looks a lot better. It isn't greasy diner food. It isn't greasy diner food, excuse me. I'll tell you that much, but it tastes all right. So something that I kind of wanted to talk about real quick, mostly for my own sake, is just my experience so far. Like I mentioned before, I started all this less than a year ago. I kind of discovered or rediscovered woodworking or making less than a year ago, probably around May. I made my first carved sign. And it's just been snowballing ever since then. I've made all sorts of different stuff, collected all sorts of different tools, given me all sorts of different opportunities, and it's been absolutely amazing. My shop is continuing to grow. But there are a lot of cons to this kind of lifestyle as well, unfortunately. Something that I was a little bit unaware of is how long it takes, number one, to market yourself, how to figure out how to market yourself, and number two, what you want to market yourself towards. So I think I feel like I branded myself a little bit early sometimes. When I start doing stuff like this and I'm working with MDF and paint all the time, I feel like I'm not really doing a whole lot of woodworking. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. It's also a very expensive commitment in terms of both time and money. I've been really getting after it, which is not really something that I condone, being a workaholic. I don't consider myself a workaholic, but because I feel like I got such a late start, I feel like I have to play catch up all the time. And I'm hoping at some point that feeling will decrease, but as I kind of listen to the experience of other makers, it doesn't really seem like that's going to happen. However, like I said, it's also a huge monetary commitment. Right now, this is more of an investment than it is a job. If you don't know already, I'm also a swim coach. I was kind of under the impression when I moved up here, I would be able to coach swimming, use a little bit of that income to continue growing my shop, and then kind of take it from there. How naive I was. Definitely going to have to pick up another job here. I am probably going to be a swim instructor at the Y. Not super thrilled about that. It will give me more income to put towards my shop, ideally, but it also takes time away from the time that I get to spend down here in the shop.
and I already feel like there just isn't enough time in the day. So I feel like I really need to start doing a lot more thought on what I need to, or what I want to market myself towards, instead of doing all of these different jobs, because it leaves me pretty scatterbrained a lot of the time. And sometimes I feel like there might be a commission somewhere down the list that I have completely forgotten about. I'm going to get a text or an email someday and be like, hey, what's up with this? How come I haven't heard from you? And that would not be due to the fact that I'm doing so many different projects, but rather the fact that I'm so disorganized. But it makes it hard to stay organized when you're all over the place like that. I feel like the carved signs were something that they're what I started out with, really. I had done a few different projects here and there, but the first real kind of woodworking project that I got into less than a year ago was doing a few carved signs for my swim team. So I want to get back into that, get really good at that, and try to make interior signs. I think I'm on my way. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn. But as far as paint, material, paint brushes, design, there's so much that goes into all this stuff that my shop isn't really even set up for. So it would be another sort of endeavor unless I wanted to make everything out of wood, which really, really limits my options, unfortunately. So, yeah, I apologize if this was a little bit rambly and scatterbrained. It was mostly this whole video is mostly to get me more comfortable with speaking in front of the camera. I don't know it's going to work all that well. I still don't even like looking at it. But practice makes progress. And I do want to be able to have the skills and the tools to build anything really that I want to build. Again, it just comes down to the fact that nobody's typing freelance woodworker into their search bar. They're typing furniture maker, sign maker, spoon carver, anything. They're looking for a specific product. They aren't looking for someone who can make anything out of one specific material. And that's advice that I had been given quite a few times when I first started. But I was a little bit stubborn, and I think I was a little bit subconsciously influenced by a lot of really great woodworkers, but woodworkers at a level that I was not at. They were much, much higher in a different stratosphere than I was, and I was trying to get results out of wood that I was not skilled enough to achieve, basically. I know I've been pretty, I don't want to say negative, but kind of negative while I eat dinner here. So I just wanted to wrap up as I finish up these last couple bites. If you have a passion and you want to make it into a job, there's almost certainly a way that you can do that. It takes time, it takes effort, and that's all you got to realize. And it probably takes a lot more time and effort than you think it takes when you first start out, as well as money. But hopefully, I'm only really at the start of my journey here, but hopefully at the end of it all, it'll be super worth it, because I mean, coming down here almost every day and being able to do what I want to do, make stuff like this, just to try to get my name out there a little bit more, it's awesome. Oh my God, I love what I do. So, point being, have a passion, follow it as far as it'll take you. Just be prepared for some hardship along the way.
So I know I said I can't have a fire. I can't. These are the fire starters that I made out of muffin tin liners, paraffin wax, and the plein air shavings. So I don't expect it to burn for more than 3 to 5 minutes. I've tested it and I know they light. I haven't run them down to see how long they burn for yet. So I've opened up one of the shop windows. I'm gonna try to see if I can get it going with some flint and steel here. Oh wow, look at that. I didn't expect that to work. All right, let's see how long it goes for. It's actually putting off quite a bit of heat. Glad I checked that because it was out of frame. All right, so if you know me in person at all, which hopefully only a few of you do, you may be wondering to yourself, Colton, why do you want to go winter camping? You get cold very, very easily. And if you don't know me in person, my name is Colton, and yes, I get cold very, very easily. The reason that I want to do this, I guess, is because I want to get into bushcrafting. Eventually probably build myself a little, very small lean-to and work my way up, hopefully into a cabin. I think I figured out a good place to do that. I need to get permission to do that, but I don't think it will be a problem. This is just kind of a trial run for that, and like I said before, the whole video is just kind of to get me more comfortable with talking straight to the camera instead of just doing voiceovers all the time, because I know it's not super engaging to do that. I also just wanted to make a little bit more of a shop hangout type of video. So I think that kind of achieved that. Maybe I'll do it a little bit more often when I have a few more things to say, hopefully more positive things to say. These are burning pretty good. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for now. I'm gonna sit back, enjoy the fire, and if I have anything else to say, I'll lean forward again, I guess. Well, that was dumb. If I haven't already said this, don't try this at home, any part of this video. Yeah, don't try this at home. All right, at this point, it's producing a lot more smoke than flame, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out. No second, sorry. Pretty impressed with how long that burned for, honestly. Yeah. At the last few minutes there, it was kind of, it would have died down to the point of being ineffective as a fire starter if there was any wind whatsoever. But right at the start there was a really good flame, and as long as you were protecting it, if there was wind, that would definitely start a fire and give you quite a bit of time to do so. So I'll put up exactly how much time it was that I burned for right here, but I think I'm just gonna finish getting everything packed into my backpack now, see how much more space I have, because I definitely want to pack a few extra layers and probably an extra pair of boots. So I was gonna finish up by going over everything I had in this pack. In fact, I did record me going over everything I had in each pocket. It was super boring. So everything is back in it now that it's a little bit more condensed. I had a lot of gear in it before that I took out what I didn't need, put everything back in, added a couple more things that I knew I was going to need. I made a little list here of things that I will need later. Important thing is that down here, there is still a ton of space. This is probably the second largest pocket. I mean, there's still quite a bit of space in a lot of these other pockets here. I can rearrange. This one's completely empty. So, yeah, I can definitely add an extra pair of boots. I can definitely add quite a few layers in here. I'll probably reorganize as I need to, because I know you're supposed to kind of have the heavier stuff sort of down low, closer to your body, if that makes sense. You don't want to carry something super heavy far away from you. You want it close to your body. Makes it a lot easier. So gonna have to probably figure out a way to repack this once I actually have everything that I need, day before, a couple days before, whatever. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today, guys. I'm gonna get everything in here cleaned up, and hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and look forward to the next one. Like and subscribe.